4 things you already know about your disability that you wish everyone else did. Stay tuned. Hey folks, my name is Youre. Welcome to the Transplant Helper podcast / YouTube video series. If you're like I am and you're disabled, you've been in that conversation before among some peers, some people maybe you've never met before, and the first thing they begin to ask, maybe just to make conversation, is, what do you do? When you have to speak up and tell them, well, actually, I'm disabled from whatever the situation is, immediately the conversation goes hush, or immediately you start to feel uncomfortable. Why is that? I don't know exactly why that is, but I do know that I've felt the same way. And really, when I consider it and look back, I really shouldn't. And so what we're talking about today are 4 things that you already know about your disability. You just wish everybody else did. Hopefully these things will help to encourage you to avoid the shame of disability. Number 1, you want them to understand, because you already know, that being disabled does not make you lazy. Most of us who are disabled today, especially if the disability's not been lifelong, you have probably worked very, very hard in your life before, and you're certainly not afraid of work. You know what it's like to live in that daily grind, to work your proverbial fingers to the bones, and to really sometimes in the end feel really good about the labor that you've done. So don't let anybody give you that look or give you that funny tone when they begin to ask questions about your disability and why you're not working. Just avoid that, put that away, and let them know very quickly that all people who are disabled are not lazy. Number 2, you would love for your friends and family to know, like you already do, that being disabled does not make you rich. As a matter of fact, I've seen too many times when people hear that I'm on disability, they give me that look like, oh, you're doing well for yourself. Actually not. More times than not, Social Security disability pays far less than what we could earn if we were out in the typical workforce, working every day, working those 40-plus hour weeks and such as that. I can speak for myself, for example, that after going on disability, albeit I make a decent living as far as I can survive, I can feed my family, at the same time I could make a whole lot more money and once did prior to being disabled. So don't let people give you that look like, oh, you're just out trying to get rich, because that's not the case. Now, there are people who abuse the system, who gain disability, and then through disability fraud, Social Security fraud, they go out and work and they double dip. Yeah, they make a good living, but that's not the case for 99.9% of us, and it's not the case for you. So you make sure that they know. In the third place, let people know that when you're disabled, that you're not looking for sympathy, you're simply looking for understanding and respect. You've all gotten those looks also. When someone hears that you're disabled, especially like in my case from a heart transplant, they kind of give you that old, poor, pitiful baby look. You know, that look like they really feel sorry for you, and they think it's just unfortunate that you're not able to live life exactly the way that you do. You know as well as I do that that ought not be the case, that you're not looking for sympathy. As a matter of fact, people who treat you with such sympathy, you really don't tend to respect them in return. You just want them to understand. You want them to understand that you live the life that you're choosing to live, or that you have to live, and that you're okay with that. That leads me to the 4th one right here. Number 4, let people know, and you want them to understand, that when you're on disability, you're still living a happy life. Again, it's not poor, pitiful you most of the time. At least you don't feel that way, and you're not unhappy with your situation. Most likely your disability is whether it be caused by birth or some accident, or in my case, some illness that came down over me. You know, that kind of disability, that's just fine. And I'm totally happy living that life. Now, would I like to work? Would I like to do exactly the things that other people get to do? Absolutely, I'd love to do that. But because that's not my situation in life, does not mean I'm sad. So let me just remind you of this. Whenever someone brings up the topic of your disability, avoid the shame. Put away the shame. Don't allow them to let you feel bad for the life that you're living. I hope this has helped you in some way to encourage you. And if it has, how about go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, stay stronger, friends.